Good morning. Welcome to Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace. Welcome to the soul of Sunday. We are Unitarian Universalists. Ours is an historic faith with a progressive theology. We affirm the worth and dignity of every being and that we are all deeply interconnected. We are bound to one another not by creed, but by covenant. And we are called to answer the call of love with open minds, open hearts, and open hands. Whoever you are, those of all nations, all creeds, all colors, all kinds of love, you are welcome here. This morning's chalice lighting is from the close of Maya Angelou's On the Pulse of Morning, spoken at the presidential inauguration ceremony on January 20th, 1993. Lift up your hearts. Each new hour holds new chances for a new beginning. Do not be wedded forever to fear. The horizon leans forward, offering you space to place new steps of change. Here on the pulse of this fine day, you may have the courage to look up and out. You may have the grace to look into your sister's eyes and into your brother's face, your country, and say simply, very simply, with hope, good morning.
We rise, humbly hearted rise, won't be divided, rise, with spirit to guide us, rise. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. We rise. All of the children rise. Elders with wisdom rise. Ancestors surround us rise. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we'll find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. We rise up from the wreckage, rise with tears and with courage, rise fighting for life, we rise. humbly hearted rise, won't be divided, rise, with spirit to guide us, rise, rise.
Dear ones, happy Sunday. It is so good to be together while apart. Once again, thanks to our extraordinary tech team for making this service possible. Thanks to the dozens of Arlington Street people who provided hospitality to street medics here and were on the Boston Common during this past Wednesday's Count Every Vote rally and march. You can read a detailed thank you on the homepage at ascboston.org. I just want to say thank you, friends. You were awesome. It was deeply moving and uplifting to see our mission of love and service in action.
Good morning. It's great to be here with you, the tech team, and all our staff musicians. If you haven't already downloaded today's order of service, it's available in the chat and on the homepage at ascboston.org. All of the hymn lyrics are included in the order of service and will be posted in the chat so we can sing together. There's also a link to Sermon Bingo on the homepage. Feel free to play along while Rev Kim preaches. As we continue our virtual greetings, please say hello in the chat. Let's engage the Arlington Street spirit of welcome that transcends physical distance as we greet one another heart to heart.
Good morning, everyone, and good to see you. Our first hymn this morning is called This Joy, and it is a song about joy, but more so than that, it is a song about the strength and the joy that is within ourselves, that's within our hearts, that the world can't take away. No matter what's happening, it's not the world that gave us that joy, that strength, that pride, that resides within us, and that we are stronger than all of that. So I invite you to join us in singing, This Joy That I Have, the world didn't give it to me, and the world can't take it away.
This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, I said the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. All this strength that I have now, this strength that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, this strength that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, this strength that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, I said the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. All this love inside me, this love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, this love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, this love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, I said the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. All this pride that I feel now, this pride that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, this pride that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, this pride that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, I said the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. All this peace inside me, this peace that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This peace that I have, The world didn't give it to me. This peace that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, I said the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. All this joy inside me, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, I said the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Oh, I said the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. One more time, the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be your living sanctuary for you.
It's now time for our treasured ritual of sharing community candles of sorrow and joy. These candles were submitted on our website by the Friday deadline. If you didn't submit your candle and have a joy or sorrow to share this morning, please wait until the third candle is lit, the silent candle, and then type your joy or sorrow in the chat. In addition to sharing our sorrows and joys this morning, let's reach out to one another in the week ahead, staying connected. May these times remind us of how very precious our beloved community is. We need one another. Despite having to be apart, may we stay very close. And now, in the spirit of invocation, let's join in singing Sanctuary. The words are printed in your order of service and in the chat.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be your living sanctuary for you.
Some of us come today with heavy hearts. We open our hearts to you.
A candle of concern for my brother Bernie and sister-in-law Mary Ellen, who live in Southern California. Wildfires came within a mile of their home on Friday morning. Luckily, the winds died down and helicopters were able to contain the blaze before it could spread further. They are also expecting rain this weekend for the first time since March. Please keep my family in your thoughts, that they remain safe and with a home. A candle of sorrow from the congregation that the virus is escalating around the world. Our hearts are with those who are lonely, frightened, and on the front lines. Let's continue to reach out and care for one another.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be your living sanctuary for you.
And some of us come today in joy. We share your joy.
A candle of joy and gratitude to Queen Cheryl for all the wonderful help she gave me Monday night at church when I fell. I am disappointed that I could not help with the preparation to protect program church Wednesday afternoon, but am comforting myself by telling myself I did my part, helping pack things together Monday night. A candle of joy from the congregation that the election has been decided and that the norms of democracy prevailed. Now may the healing of our nation begin.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
For all the sorrows and all the joys we hold in our hearts, we light a silent candle to remember and to rejoice. May the peace of this sanctuary enter into our hearts as we share a quiet moment together, breathing our prayers for ourselves, for one another, for our country, and for the world. Amen.
Let's join now in saying together the affirmation and covenant of this beloved spiritual community. The words are printed in your order of service and in the chat. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is our gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to speak our truths in love, and to help one another. El amor es el espíritu de nuestra congregación, y servicio es nuestro regalo. Esto es a los que nos comprometemos con vivir en paz, hablar nuestras verdades con amor y ayudarnos las unos a las otros.
Our next hymn is Sarah Dan Jones's Meditation on Breathing. She wrote this song in the wake of 9/11 at a time when she wanted to help bring the country together and help remind us that our peace and our love could be found just within ourselves, within our own breath. And as we sing this song, I invite you to just try to get back in touch with yourself, with your breath, with who you are, with breathing out peace, breathing in love, and just feeling all of us together in this beautiful virtual space. Breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out,
I'll breathe out love when I breathe in. I'll breathe in peace when I breathe out. I'll breathe out love when I breathe in. I'll breathe in peace when I breathe out. I'll breathe out love when I breathe in. I'll breathe in peace when I breathe out. I'll breathe out love when I breathe in. I'll breathe in peace when I breathe out. I'll breathe out love when I breathe in. I'll breathe in peace when I breathe out. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe out, breathe in, breathe
In times during which the incoming hits to our nervous systems are unrelenting, in times when we are dysregulated and disoriented, our natural inclination is to hold on tight. Think roller coaster. Perhaps some of you have felt this way this past week. This morning, I'm going to invite you to join me in reflecting on a counterintuitive, every fiber of your body screaming, no, spiritual practice, the spiritual practice of letting go. Let's start here. Are you breathing? Perhaps it's been a long time since you took a conscious, deep breath, a full-bodied in-breath and out-breath. Perhaps it's been as many as 4 years. I invite you now to breathe with me. Breathe with me. Breathe in and let go of it. Breathe all the way out. In and out. Keep your focus on the out breath, That's letting go. In and out. Let it go. Keep breathing. There comes a time for every one of us to let go. Actually, there come many, many times every day. We can't savor the present, let alone move into the future, if we're clinging to the past. The unmet expectations, betrayal, resentment, the shattered dreams, guilt, and grief. Getting all righteous about what might have been, could have been, should have been, only gets us nowhere but stuck and hurting. Maybe our pride is hurt. Maybe we don't want to see as someone who gives up, a quitter. But maybe we're being called to let the past be past, pronounce it dead, and walk into a new day. Ironically, Dr. Haider Zahed, a scientist, calls it the art of letting go, answering the invitation to relinquish unhealthy attachments to people, events, ideas, possessions, and minor irritations. Ann Landers, matron saint of advice, wrote, "Some people believe holding on and hanging in there are signs of great strength. However, there are times when it takes much more strength to know when to let go, and then to let go." Psychotherapist and professor Dr. Eileen S. Cohen writes, "Holding on to pain doesn't fix anything. Replaying the past over and over again does not change it. Wishing things were different does not make it so. In some cases, especially when it comes to the past, all you can do is accept whatever it is we're holding on to, and then let it go. Let it go. That's how everything changes." Dr. Zahed continues, "No time is better than the present to make a conscious decision to release negative influences so we can enjoy life as it unfolds, precious moments every day. To let go also means to give up resisting and struggling to hold on, accepting what is, and letting go of what was." Most of us can get on board with this, sometimes more, sometimes less, until it comes to letting go of someone we love who has hurt us. We can't control what others think or do. We can try, but it's a losing wager. The only thing we really have control over is our thoughts and our actions. Rachel Velishek, a mental health counselor, writes, "Letting go of a person we love can be painful, but sometimes it's the final remaining option in order to care for our own well-being. Letting go of someone doesn't mean we're giving up on them. It is acknowledging the hurt, setting boundaries and expectations for the relationship, and making an active choice not to let them hurt us anymore. Letting go of someone does not imply that we stop loving them. It's communicating that we love them, but we fear for them and for ourselves. Letting go is done out of love." The work, Rachel Velishek concludes, is to let go of what we cannot change. I love the expression, "Don't live in chains when you have the key." Don't live in chains. When you can put the lock, the key into the lock, turn it and let go. In every letting go, there's a little death. It's important to honor our losses and to feel the pain of grieving. It's such hard work. But the only way out is through. We are not our pain or our past. Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung said, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." And maybe, just maybe, there's some new possibility that awaits. Knowing we should let go, even wanting to let go, is different from knowing how to begin. American Tibetan Buddhist nun Pema Chodron teaches that it begins with seeing ourselves clearly. The key to feeling more whole and less shut off and shut down is to be able to see clearly who we are and what we're doing. She writes, if we see ourselves with clarity, good-heartedness, and kindness, we begin to find that our world is more vast and more refreshing and fascinating than we knew. The meditation technique for seeing clearly and letting go begins with precision and gentleness. If you'd like, we can try this together. Let's do this. I'm going to invite you to assume an unrumpled posture. Are you still breathing? Find your breath. Breathe in and out. And again, pay attention to that out breath. Don't force it. In and out. Pema Chodron writes, this seems simple, but actually to be with the breath and to be there for every breath requires a lot of precision. Just the fact that we always come back to the breath and that we try in a gentle way to be as fully with the breath as we can sharpens our mind. Keep a light touch on the out breath and don't shut out everything else. Touch the out breath very softly and let it go. In and out. If we emphasized only precision, Pema continues, our meditation might become quite harsh and militant. So we also emphasize gentleness. One thing that's very helpful is to cultivate an overall sense of relaxation while we're meditating. If you find it difficult to relax, just patiently, gently work with it, in and out. We're not doing this to achieve anything, but to come into this very moment, the present, so full of possibility. If we're faithful to the honesty of precision and the good-heartedness of gentleness, we'll find that sense of knowing how to let go builds in us, and letting go will follow naturally. Pema Chodron writes, once you begin to get the hang of this, it's incredibly powerful that you could be completely obsessed with hope and fear and all kinds of other thoughts, and you could realize what you're doing without criticizing it, and you could let go. This is probably one of the most amazing tools we could be given, the ability to just let go. Over these past 4 years, countless friends and families have been riven by political differences. The anger, grief, and despair over the possibility of ever healing is devastating. It's true that nothing will ever be the same. But we can summon a Herculean will and strength and courage, choose to let go, and step into the future. I want to tell you about Mary Griffith, whom I met in the early 90s at a conference where we were both speaking. In my mind's eye, I can still see her very clearly. Her story was both soul-searing and redemptive. Mary was a devout Christian who, with her husband Robert, raised their 4 children in an evangelical Presbyterian church in the late 1970s and early 80s. Her second child, Bobby, was gay. His father and his siblings accepted him, but Mary, believing God could cure him, began her campaign to pray away the gay, encouraging him to spend more time in prayer and at church gatherings. As Bobby grew increasingly self-loathing, depressed, and desperate, Mary told him she would not have a gay son. She said a lot of other terrible things that I won't repeat from this pulpit. And you know where this is going. Bobby died by suicide. Mary's heart broke. In her grief, she began to question her church's teachings. And slowly but surely, she reached out to the queer community, which embraced her. And then she discovered PFLAG, Parents, Friends, and Family of Lesbians and Gays, where she was politicized. In a speech before her local city council, she told them that her stubborn refusal to reevaluate the teachings of a church that told her to reject her child had cost her his life. And then she urged them to think before they spouted dehumanizing slander, because she said somewhere a child is listening. In 1995, Mary published her story. Her book is called Prayers for Bobby. She died on February 20th of this year, having spent more than 40 years as an unstinting, dedicated, and fierce advocate for queer kids. Brian K. Bond, executive director of PFLAG National, eulogized Mary Griffith, saying she had led by heroic example, changing hearts and minds by sharing her personal journey to help countless other parents so they would not have to face the same loss that she did. Speaking softly in that crowded room all those years ago now, Mary told me that while it was too late for Bobby, she wanted to be sure she was in time for literally thousands of other Bobbies and their families. And I thought then, as I'm thinking now, that if Mary could so profoundly change her mind and heart, and then spend the rest of her life changing the hearts and minds of others, there is hope for us all. Now, let us begin. Beloved spiritual companions, I invite you to the spiritual practice of letting go. Let go of unmet expectations, betrayal, resentment, shattered dreams, guilt, and grief. Let go of what might have been, could have been, should have been. We are not our pain or our past. Do not live in chains when you have the key. Remember to find your breath. In and out. Touch the out-breath very gently and let it go. Come into this very moment. May we choose courage, strength, and love. Now, let us begin.
I am resilient, I trust the movement, and negate the chaos, uplift the negative. I show up at the table again and again and again. I close my mouth and learn to listen. Whoa, 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 whoa. These times are poignant, the winds have shifted. It's all we can do to stay uplifted. Pipelines through backyards was howling out front. Yeah, I got my crew, but truth is what I want. Reline and on point, power to the peaceful, prayers to the waters, woman at the center, all vessels open to give and receive. Let's see the system brought down to its knees. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 I made of thunder, I made of lightning, I made of dirt here, made of the fine things. My father told me that I must pick up dust, and this world was made for me, so let's go and try our luck. I got my roots down, 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 down deep. I got my roots down, 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 down deep. I got my roots down, down, down deep. I got my roots down, down, down deep. So what are we doing here? What has been done? What are you gonna do about it when the world comes undone? My voice feels tiny, and I'm sure so does yours. Put us all together, make a mighty roar. Oh, a mighty roar. I am resilient, I trust the movement, and negate the chaos, uplift the negative. I show up at the table again and again and again. I close my mouth and learn to listen.
Friends, our generosity continues to astound everyone. We are continuing to pay staff and maintain our building even when most of us can't be here. It's great to leave my screen and be with you here today. Normally, I spend my Sunday mornings as a member of the tech team. My role is technical troubleshooting for people in the Zoom room, as well as keeping an eye out to make sure we're safe and sound here. We've all had a lot of new technology to learn over the course of this pandemic. Personally, I would have preferred never having to learn about Zoom bombers. This past week, I managed all the data for the Arlington street team supporting the Count Every Vote rally. It meant a lot to me to be able to apply my professional skills and give back to this community as we serve larger causes for peace and justice. There are so many ways to give here, and I highly recommend it. Please take a moment now to join me in giving as we fill our virtual collection plate. You can text the word GIVE, G-I-V-E, to 617-300-0509. Scan the QR code in the order of service or click the yellow donate button on the homepage at ascboston.com. Here's the number again, 617-300-0509. Thank you for your generosity. After you make your gift to sustain our beloved community, please continue to share in the chat what inspires you during these difficult days.
Hi everyone. I found this song and heard it for the first time this week and thought it was incredibly fitting, so I'm happy to share it with you. We're at the end of the road. We're all soldiers on our own. just trying our best. We work so hard that we forget how to give ourselves forgiveness. So let's all hold each other close, 'cause there's so much we can't control, but we don't have to feel alone. So let's be bold and let's be brave. Let's take a minute to bow and pray. No matter how the light may fade, we'll carry on. It's how we're raised. We might fall, but we won't break. Yeah, we won't break. No. Yeah, we won't break. Yeah, we won't break. No way. And after all came the sun, and now our hearts will beat as one. We made it through. Then came the sun, and now our hearts will beat. Now they'll beat as one. We made it through, and after all came the sun, and now our hearts will beat. Our hearts will beat as one.
Last Sunday, I told you about our appalling, spalling brownstone and the general degradation of the exterior of the church, which continues even in our absence. A top drawer preservation team led by our own John Anderson Miller will restore the stone on the front of the church, rebuild the Boylston Street stamps, and build a beautiful new reimagined ramp on the Arlington Street side. Construction is set to begin this spring. Reverend Beth has already secured some very prestigious grants for us. And now, as we seek more grants and prepare to ask individuals in the larger community to lend their financial support to this massive project, we are being asked to demonstrate our love and our commitment to this building. All Souls, a capital campaign for the preservation of Arlington Street Church, will officially launch in 2 weeks, Thanksgiving Sunday. And the internal phase, in which each of us will be invited to give, will last just through December, a very small window of time. Know that our donations are not to be spread out over years, though we will certainly be asked again in the years to come. For now, we're being invited to make a year-end gift to this building we call home. This building we received as a gift and which we will pass on to future generations. In between, it's ours to love well. Again, the goal is to have every one of us make a gift. Nothing is too small, and a very, very large gift would also be nice. If we can get to 100% participation, it will demonstrate to grantors and funders that we care and are caring for our corner of the city. Immediately after worship last Sunday, I received 2 emails. One from someone who had attended Arlington Street for the first time that morning, who wants to make a contribution to the campaign. And another from a longtime leader in our congregation, enthusiastically offering her support. This is a heartening beginning. You'll be hearing about their gifts next Sunday. Please join Cam and me as we contemplate what we can give. I have perfect faith in the generosity and devotion of this beloved community. If you'd like to speak with me about your gift, I'd love that. Please call the church or email me at office@ascboston.org. Thank you, my friends.
As always, there are a lot of wonderful gatherings happening this week. There are meditation, poetry, yoga, book clubs, and writing groups, as well as tea time with your ministers. The conversation prompt for this Wednesday's tea is, what's your favorite song? Please come and share some lyrics, if not the tune. And a larger question from Al Ingram, what's your life song? For details on everything that's going on, please be sure to visit our homepage at ascboston.org. At the close of today's service, please unmute yourself for a virtual coffee hour and enjoy the opportunity to visit in smaller groups in breakout rooms. Before I turn it over to Mark, David, and Julie for our closing hymn, a big thank you to all who joined us in today's service and all who made it possible. Remember, we're in this together.
Hi, everyone. Our closing hymn today is the Beatles' Let It Be. If you're like me, and you've been refreshing election results all week, it's hard to feel like you can let it be. And I know a lot of us are thinking about action and next steps. And I've been thinking a little bit about Reinhold Niebuhr's Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I think it's hard to change the things that we can change until we're able to accept some of the things that we cannot change, and then we can move forward. So in that spirit, I invite us to sing together, Let It Be. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper, whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. 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 There will be an answer. There will be an answer. Let it be. 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 There will be. There will be an answer. Let it be. will be an answer. Let it be. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow. Let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. 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 Whisper words of wisdom. Let it be. 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 There will be an answer. There will be an answer. Let it be. One more time. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Shine. Shine until tomorrow. Let it be.
For our benediction, I invite you to reach out your hands and touch the sides of your square. Touch hands with the people to your left and to your right, and send love to the person on either side of you and to the people on either side of them. Send out love into this beloved spiritual community and feel it coming back to you. Love is the spirit of this congregation. And now for our benediction, I invite you to put your hands over your heart in Namaste. I bow to the divine in you. Our benediction comes from Indian author Kalidasa's Exhortation to the Dawn. Look to this day, for it is life, the very life of life. In its brief course lie all the verities and realities of our existence. Yesterday is but a dream, and tomorrow but a vision. Let us look well, therefore, to this day. Let us keep this faith, beloveds, and pass it on. The service begins when the service ends. Bless your hearts. I love you. Amen.
Where you go? Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. Your divine, my divine. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. Your divine, my divine. Thanks, everyone. Amen.
Please visit ascboston.org for more information about this historic Unitarian Universalist congregation. Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace.